Okay, so we're going to be looking at Shine On You Crazy Diamond, or to give it its full name, Shine On You Crazy Diamond Parts 1 to 5, which is the first track from the amazing Pink Floyd album, Wish You Were Here. Now, it's worth pointing out, the first thing we're going to learn is the guitar solo that comes in after the keyboard solo. It comes in around about 2 minutes and 8 seconds, 2 minutes 9 seconds into the song, and it's a very clean solo, but it's also the timing of it is very free. David Gilmour wasn't playing to any real specific tempo or groove, so it's a very hard thing to match exactly to the original recording, and in actual fact it's one of the solos that I go back and revisit time and time again, especially before a tour, because you know you have to listen to it. I would recommend, before you attempt to learn this solo, just listen to it over and over again and try and internalize it, and you know, try and kind of preempt where the next phrases are coming, because otherwise, you know, when you hear it played out of context, because obviously, you know, you're going to hear it played just as solo guitar without the chord changes from the keyboards underneath, it's not going to sound like much at all, but it's a very kind of emotional solo, so you know, bear that in mind. Just listen to it time and time again, and you know, because every time I do that, I go back and I revisit the song and I notice little nuances and little details that I didn't, you know, that I may not have noticed before. I'm not going to go too into detail with the guitar sounds, as we've said before. I'm just using the clean sound on the amp with a little bit of compression and a little bit of reverb, and I'm using the neck pickup on the guitar. And the main scale that this is based on is the G minor pentatonic scale. In various positions, we're using various positions of that scale. But we've also got this extra A note in there, which is just a ninth of the G minor scale, without getting too much into the theory. Some people would call that a G minor hexatonic scale, but don't get too bogged down with that terminology. Yeah, as I say, yeah, a bit of compression on the amp, a little bit of reverb, but yeah, we're just going to get stuck into the solo. I'm going to play you it phrase by phrase, but please, as I said before, just listen to the original and you know, try and kind of internalize the phrasing. Okay, so as I've mentioned in previous videos, if we do lose you with any of the terminology when it comes to, you know, talking about scales and chords, they are covered elsewhere on FretHub. So, you know, everything you need, all the tools you need is there on the site. I'm just going to show you the notes and, you know, just give you a kind of brief insight into the scales that are being used. So we start out, we're in this, what most people, or a lot of people, would call position 1 of the G minor pentatonic scale, that good old-fashioned box shape, starting on the 15th fret on the low E string. So we're actually starting on the 18th fret on the B string, and we're bending up a whole step. We've got this phrase. So it's bend up a whole step. And you want to kind of take it down and then bend it up again, so you got this, and give it some vibrato when you get to the end. And then we move down into position 4 of the G minor pentatonic scale. We're just playing around between the two positions. So this is our previous phrase. Then we move down into, obviously you can play this, but I've watched clips of David Gilmour and he actually plays it down here. So what we've got there, on the G string it's 12, and then it's 11 on the B to 13 on the B, and then bend up a whole step on the B, down and back up again. So you got, give it some vibrato and then hold it, and then it got, so that's, you release the bend, pull off to 11 and then pick 13 on the B string. But what he does this cheeky, when he gets to that note on the 11th fret on the B string, he gives it a cheeky kind of, starts to kind of bend it upwards. You're not bending it to any specific pitch, otherwise you start to get a major tonality in there, and you don't want that, but it's only very subtle. So you got, and then we repeat that previous phrase. So you know that already, that's 13, bend up a whole step, take it down, bend it up again. And then you let that bend drop. It's very subtle on the recording, but give it some vibrato and then take it down. You kind of hear him releasing that bend slowly. Then we got this phrase. So that's so on the B string, going 10, hammer to 11, pull off to 10, and then that's 12 on the G, 10, B, and then 10 G, but you kind of want to bar with your first finger. And then that's 10 on the G, 12 D, and back to 10 G. And then we take this so we're bending up a tone and a half on the G string on the 12th fret. So we go so it's 12, bend it up a tone and a half, so we're actually bending up the 12th fret to sound like the 15th fret on the G. So you bend it up, and then you want to take it up again. There's all these little details that you'll hear, you know, he's kind of reiterating bends. So, and then while it's up there, take it down, and then 10, 12, pick again, take it up again. It's a slow bend this time, so it goes and then again, that's that bend, take it down, and then 10, 12, 12. So putting that all together. Then we have, it's a bit of a jump there. You can go do it on start on the G string, but I'm hearing that. So it's basically 13, bend up whole step, and then you want to do this compound bend where you catch the 13th fret on the high E string with your full finger, little country thing, and then we're bending 18 on the B string, so we shift up, and then bend, do that same bend again, so it's very quickly, and then it's 15, 17, bend 17 on the B, and then 15, 18 on the high E, and then bend 18 up the whole step on the high E, take it down again, and there's a little slide down, so it goes. You're hearing some string noise just because of the compressor, because of the actual effect of the compressor, so I apologise for that. But and then we move back down to this position again. So it's you're kind of picking a little bit more lightly, and it's you kind of pre-bend the string on the 13th fret. So bend it up. So it's bend, release, and then pull off to 12 to 11. So then we got, which is 12 on the D string, 10 G, 12 B. So once we've done that phrase, we bend the 12th fret on the G string up a tone and a half again. Once it's there, pick it a couple of times, So you've got the bend, pick it twice, release, and then 10, 12. Once again. So that's kind of the first half of the solo. I'll just reiterate that. Next phrase. So we've had this bend before. So we've kind of we're bending on the 13th fret on the B string, kind of pre-bending it. Release. So a bit sharp. Pull off to 11 and 13 again. So. And then bend 13, so, and then bend it again, and then you want to get that compound bend in there, so you want to catch the 13th fret on the high E string. And then we go. So we're shifting position again, and that's bending 18 on the B string, and then catching 15 on the high E. And then bending 18 on the B again. That's the next phrase. So once we've made that bend on the B string, you want to kind of release it. So that's pick, release, pull off to 15 on the B, and then bend 17 on the G, and then we've got, that's 17 bend, release, pull off to 15, and then pick 17 twice, all on the G string, and then we've got, that's a little phrase there, which we're on the D string and we're sliding 15, almost instantaneously, 15 up to 17, and then 17 on the G. So that's, and after that, similar phrase. So that's pre-bend the 17th fret on the G string, release, pull off to 15, then 17, and bend again, and then we go, that's a little compound bend. We've done it down there before, but slightly different tonality up here, same notes, but that's bending 17 on the G and then catching 18 on the B, and then bending 17 on the G again. So, and then finally, so that's bend 18 on the B string, and then 15, 18 on the high E, and then we've got what that is, that's barring across the 15th fret on the B and high E strings. You want to hit 15 on the B, and then just bring your third finger over and place 18 on the high E, and then we move up to the next position, and we bend 20 up a whole step on the high E. So we've got, and then what that is, we bend 18 up a whole step on the high E, then release it, and then we play 17 on the high E, so, and then 18 on the B, pick it again and bend it up a whole step. So just to recap, that second half of the solo. So that's the intro solo to Shine On, You Crazy Diamond, parts 1 to 5. Please, as I say, just listen to the original recording over and over again, just to, you know, kind of memorize the sound of that solo, and, you know, just try and kind of get the phrasing into your head. But those are the notes anyway, so have fun with that. Okay, so that was the classic 4-note riff, known as Sid's theme, obviously a tribute to Syd Barrett. Now, you know, I was trying to play the arrangement of the song in my head. If it didn't make sense unaccompanied, then please, as I say, just listen to the original and you'll get a feel for the arrangement. So basically, that classic riff, just 4 notes. I'm just giving it a little bit of a whammy vibrato as well. I'll show you the notes first of all. You want to put your 3rd finger on the 8th fret of the D string, and at the same time your 1st finger on the 6th fret of the B string, and we're playing 8 on the D, 6 on the B, and then open G and open E. So you have the notes of A flat, F, G and E, just in case you're interested in the actual notes that you're playing. And listen to the original for how many times it does that. So once the band kicks in, boom, over the C, boom. We've got this. I normally switch to a different sound for this part because I don't want as much reverbs and delays and modulation going on. But it's we're just playing an F power chord, slight palm mute. So it's an F power chord, and then we slide up to a G power chord. So that's this F shape here. So 1st finger on the 1st fret on the low E string, 4th or 3rd finger, whichever you choose, on the 3rd fret of the 5th string, and then when you go to the G power chord, you want to kind of shift that whole thing up 2 frets. So, you know, without all the reverb and stuff. And then back into And then we've got more chord changes. That's when this riff changes. So it's the first three notes are the same. So that's basically A flat, F, open G, and then you want to tuck your fourth finger on the 8th fret on the G string, so underneath your third finger, and just play those two notes. So that's 8 on the D and 8 on the G. So, and then with the next chord change, just move it. So you want to hit that again, and then move it down 1 fret, and play that power chord bit again, and then one more time, and then it goes into the second solo. So that whole section from when the drums come in